Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your first lesson in your school at home Google Classroom distance learning program. Today I thought we would do some review in solving two-step equations. So in your notes, set up a page that looks just like this, with review at the top, and then solving equations. We're going to do two examples today. The first one is going to be just a two-step equation. And the next one is going to be a two-step equation that involves the distributive property. So the first example is negative 3x plus 9 equals 6. Remember, when you're solving two-step equations, you always want to circle the variable and draw the line at the equal sign to start solving. Then we want to undo addition and subtraction first. So I look at the side with the variable and I see that there is this 9 being added to it. So I want to do the inverse of plus 9, which is minus 9. So I'm going to minus 9 on both sides. When I do that, 9 minus 9 becomes 0. And 6 minus 9 becomes negative 3. And then I bring down the negative 3x on this side. Now, when the 3 and the x are right next to each other, that means multiplication. So the inverse of multiply is divide. So I'm going to end up dividing by negative 3 on both sides. When I do that, negative 3 divided by negative 3 is 1. So I'm left with x. And then on the other side, when I divide negative 3 by negative 3, remember, a negative divided by a negative is a positive, and 3 divided by 3 is 1. So x equals 1 is my answer. Remember, on these, you are more than welcome to use a calculator. If you do not have one, then you can use a Google calculator and use that to help you solve these. The next example that we're going to do is going to be negative 24 equals 4 times x minus 6. Now, whenever I see I have parentheses, we have to get rid of those parentheses before we can solve, and we do that by doing the distributive property. So I'm going to multiply the 4 inside the parentheses, 4 times x, and 4 times negative 6. So 4 times x is 4x, and 4 times negative 6 is negative 24. Okay? Then I can draw the line and circle the variable. I'm going to do the same inverse operations as I did before. This time I have a minus 24, so I'm going to do the opposite or the inverse of minus, which is plus 24. Have to do it to both sides. When I do that, negative 24 plus 24 is 0. Negative 24 plus 24 again is 0. And I bring down the 4x. Now, this is 4 times x. The opposite of 4 times x is divided by 4. When I do 4 divided by 4, I get 1. And all I'm left with over here is x. And when I do 0 divided by 4, I get 0. So 0 is my answer.